Men often believe that foreplay is something physical, a checklist of actions, a routine of touches and moves that will magically unlock a woman's heart. But here's the truth. The best foreplay isn't about the body first. It's about the mind, the emotions, and the atmosphere you create around her. What I'm about to share with you never fails for any woman, because it speaks directly to her deepest psychology, her longing for connection, and her desire for a man who understands her beyond the surface. This is where Stoic wisdom and masculine presence come together to transform how you approach women forever. Now, let's break down what foreplay truly means, in a way most men never realize. It doesn't start when you touch her. It starts long before that. It begins in how you carry yourself, the way you talk to her, the subtle energy you radiate. Women crave emotional anticipation. Their attraction is not only about what you do, but how you make them feel before you do it. Most men miss this entirely, rushing into physical steps without understanding that a woman's mind is her most powerful attraction point. Stoicism teaches us patience, presence, and control. 3 traits that form the foundation of the best foreplay any woman can experience. First, let's talk about presence, the forgotten art of modern men. Presence is when you are fully in the moment with her, undistracted by your phone, your thoughts, or your insecurities. When a woman feels your full attention, it ignites something in her. She feels seen, valued, desired, not as an object, but as a woman. Imagine sitting across from her, locking eyes, listening not just to her words, but to the emotions behind them. You nod, you respond, you lean in. That moment alone can spark more desire than any mechanical move ever could. Most men underestimate the power of attention, but women are addicted to the feeling of being truly understood. Your presence becomes the strongest form of foreplay. Second, communication with depth. Too many men keep conversations shallow, focused on surface-level topics. But women are emotional creatures. They connect through vulnerability, mystery, and curiosity. Ask her about her dreams, her fears, her passions. Share pieces of yourself, not as a performance, but with genuine authenticity. When she feels safe opening up, she begins to associate you with comfort and intimacy. This builds anticipation far stronger than physical touch ever could. And here's the key. Don't rush. Let the silence linger sometimes. Let her feel the weight of your words. That space creates tension, and tension is the essence of foreplay. Third, let's bring in the power of masculine restraint. In Stoicism, control over desire is seen as strength. Modern men think making a move fast shows confidence. But in reality, what drives a woman crazy is a man who has the patience to hold back, to delay, to let her imagination run wild. Imagine being close to her, letting your hand linger near hers without grabbing it right away. Imagine whispering slowly instead of speaking fast. Imagine looking into her eyes with calm certainty, making her wonder what you're thinking. This self-restraint makes her heartbeat rise. Because anticipation is far more powerful than instant gratification. The best foreplay is the art of not rushing. Now here's where the psychology comes in. Women crave a man who can create emotional contrast. What does that mean? It means you know how to switch between being strong and soft, assertive and gentle, playful and serious. This unpredictability keeps her intrigued. If you are only dominant, she feels pressured. If you are only soft, she loses respect. But when you master the balance, leading with strength while showing moments of tenderness, you become unforgettable. She begins to crave your touch before it even happens. That's the foreplay most men never master. But let's step deeper into Stoic philosophy here. The Stoics believed that desire should not control us. We should control desire. That applies directly to foreplay. If you're needy, desperate, or seeking validation, she senses it instantly, and the magic disappears. But when you approach her with calm confidence, when you are content with yourself and not chasing her approval, she feels your energy shift. You are no longer a man trying to get something. You are a man offering presence, mystery, and stability. That energy alone excites her more than anything else. So let's put this into a scenario. Imagine you're with her. Instead of rushing, you take time to notice her. You compliment not just her looks, but the way she thinks, the way she laughs, the way she carries herself. You lean in closer, but you don't touch her yet. You let your words, your tone, and your silence build the tension. When you finally do touch her hand, it feels electric, because the anticipation has built up like a storm waiting to break. That single touch is more powerful than 1,000 rushed moves. This is why I say, the best foreplay is about the mind first, body second. It's about building anticipation, showing patience, and creating emotional safety. Women remember how you made them feel far more than what you did. If you understand this, you will never fail, because every woman, no matter her background, culture, or personality, longs to feel desired, understood, and safe in a man's presence. The beauty of this approach is that it aligns perfectly with Stoic principles. Stoicism teaches you to be calm under pressure, to control your impulses, to master yourself before seeking mastery over others. When you embody these traits, women naturally feel more drawn to you. They sense the strength of a man who is in control of himself, and that self-control creates the strongest attraction. So remember this, the best foreplay is not a technique, not a secret move, not a checklist. It is presence, patience, and emotional anticipation. It is giving her the gift of your attention, making her feel safe, and allowing the tension to rise naturally. It is the art of restraint, the power of balance, and the wisdom of Stoicism applied to relationships. When you practice this, you'll realize that foreplay is not something you do, it's something you embody. And once you understand that, you'll never see women or yourself the same way again. Now that we've laid the foundation for what real foreplay means, presence, patience, and anticipation, let's take this deeper into the step-by-step psychological process that makes it never fail. Most men think foreplay starts with touch, but in reality, the best foreplay starts hours before you're ever physically close. It begins in the way you create an environment that makes her feel at ease, safe, and curious. If she feels stressed, pressured, or uncertain, nothing works. But if she feels calm, respected, and slowly drawn in, her mind naturally opens. And once her mind is there, her body follows. Think of foreplay as a slow fire. You don't throw gasoline and expect it to burn with beauty. You add wood carefully, spark it with patience, and allow the flames to build steadily. The mistake most men make is rushing to ignite the fire without tending to the foundation. Women don't respond well to that because their psychology isn't wired for instant ignition. They want the buildup. They want the dance. They want to feel like something meaningful is unfolding, not like they're part of a transaction. That's where your masculine discipline comes in. The first stage of great foreplay is emotional priming. This is the space where you make her feel special through subtle actions, listening deeply, complimenting sincerely, and creating an emotional bond. Remember, not all compliments are equal. A surface level "you look nice" doesn't touch her heart. But when you notice details other men overlook, like the way she expresses herself, the way she lights up when she talks about her passion, or the way she pushes through her struggles, that hits differently. That's a compliment that lingers in her mind. That's a seed of desire planted long before touch. The second stage is teasing curiosity. This doesn't mean games or manipulation. It means holding a little back so she leans forward. Women love mystery, and mystery is anticipation's twin brother. If you reveal everything too quickly, there's nothing left for her imagination. But when you let your words, your pauses, and your actions carry a hint of unpredictability, she stays engaged. For example, if you lean in as if you're about to whisper something, then pull back with a playful smile, her mind races. That mental spark is foreplay. You're letting her imagination work for you. The third stage is physical subtlety. Now, this is where most men go too far too soon. The best move is no move, at least not right away. Start with small gestures.
maintaining eye contact longer than usual, brushing past her arm lightly as if it wasn't planned, leaning close enough for her to feel your presence without making her uncomfortable. These micro-actions trigger her nervous system in powerful ways. She becomes aware of your energy, her heartbeat quickens, and her mind starts anticipating the next step. This is the invisible string pulling her closer. But here's something most men never consider. Foreplay is also about the environment you create. A chaotic or careless atmosphere kills desire. Think about it. If she's distracted, anxious, or sensing rushed energy, her mind cannot relax. But if you create calm, through tone of voice, through your composure, even through the space around you, she feels safe. Safety is the gateway to openness. Women open up not when you push harder, but when you create a space where they can breathe, laugh, and trust. Stoicism teaches us that a man must control his environment, his energy, and his emotion. Apply that here. Your calm presence becomes the stage where her excitement naturally builds.
Now let's tie this back to Stoicism in a deeper way. The Stoics believed in apatheia, not in the sense of apathy, but in the sense of being unmoved by unnecessary impulses. When you're with a woman, your ability to stay grounded even when desire rises is what separates you from weak men. She will test your patience without even knowing it, delaying, pulling back, questioning. If you react with frustration or neediness, you break the frame. But if you remain calm, smiling, patient, almost as if you enjoy the wait itself, she feels your strength. That strength excites her more than any rushed touch. Because deep down, she wants to feel your restraint snap at just the right moment, not too early. Another layer of never-fail foreplay is the voice. Most men underestimate the power of their tone. Women respond not just to what you say, but how you say it. Speak slower, with pauses. Lower your tone slightly, not forced, but naturally. When you slow down, it forces her to lean in. It makes your words heavier, more magnetic. The right sentence, spoken with calm authority and sprinkled with mystery, can make her feel more anticipation than any physical gesture. Think about it. If you rush your words, you look nervous. If you slow them down, you look in control. Control creates desire. But here's the secret that turns good foreplay into unforgettable foreplay. Let her participate in the anticipation. Don't always lead with action. Sometimes give her space to make the move. When you hold back, you create an invisible vacuum that pulls her forward. For example, if your hand is close to hers but you don't grab it, she might inch closer. If your eyes linger on her lips but you don't lean in, she might lean toward you. This is where restraint flips the script. She starts to chase you. That role reversal is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in attraction, because women love the thrill of feeling like they wanted it too. Now, why does this never fail? Because it's rooted in universal human psychology. Every woman, regardless of her age, culture, or background, craves anticipation, mystery, and emotional safety. These are not tricks. They are timeless truths. Stoicism teaches us that human nature doesn't change. Only our awareness of it does. If you understand that her heart and mind are more responsive to patience and presence than to rushed physical moves, you gain an advantage most men never discover. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine reading a book. If you already know the ending, the story loses its magic. But if the story unfolds slowly, with twists, pauses, and hidden depth, you can't put it down. That's exactly how a woman experiences foreplay. She doesn't want the ending given to her in 2 pages. She wants the journey, the mystery, the unfolding. You, as a Stoic man, must learn to craft that story. That's the best foreplay. Not a trick, but a journey you both enjoy together. And here's the final piece for this part. Foreplay isn't about trying to impress her. It's about making her feel alive in your presence. If you make her laugh, if you spark her imagination, if you let her feel safe and desired, she will never forget you. When she walks away, she won't be thinking about what you did. She'll be replaying how you made her feel, seen, cherished, and slowly drawn into your energy. That memory is what creates lasting attraction. That memory is what makes her crave your presence again and again. At this stage, you understand that the best foreplay begins in the mind, builds through anticipation, and unfolds with presence and restraint. But now, let's move into the final layer, the part that makes this approach truly unforgettable. This is where you combine everything: presence, emotional priming, patience, mystery, and subtle physicality. When blended together, these elements form a complete experience that no woman forgets. And here's the truth. This formula never fails because it doesn't depend on tricks. It depends on principles of human psychology and timeless Stoic wisdom. The final key is emotional leadership. Foreplay is not just about what you give her. It's about how you guide the emotional rhythm between you. Women love when a man can lead without forcing, when he can guide the interaction in a way that feels natural and effortless. Leadership here means you set the pace, but you're not pushy. You create the energy, but you're not needy. You allow her to feel like she's following her own desires, even though you've carefully set the stage. This balance between leading and allowing is what makes women lose themselves in the moment. Leadership also means being attuned. If she feels nervous, you calm her. If she feels playful, you match her energy. If she feels curious, you expand that curiosity. You're not robotic. You're responsive, like a skilled musician playing in harmony with the notes of her emotion. That responsiveness is foreplay at its highest level, because it shows that you're not just doing things to her. You're with her, moving in rhythm with her feelings. This creates connection, and connection is the foundation of all intimacy. Now let's talk about timing. Timing is everything in foreplay. Too soon, and you break the tension. Too late, and you lose momentum. The Stoic approach is to remain calm, observant, and patient enough to feel the moment. You notice her cues, the way she leans closer, the way her breathing changes, the way her eyes soften. When you pick up on these signals and move at the right time, it feels natural to her. It doesn't feel like you forced anything. It feels like it was supposed to happen. That sense of inevitability makes the experience unforgettable. Another part of timing is knowing when not to move. Pauses are powerful. Holding eye contact for a beat longer, letting silence fill the air, pulling back slightly when she expected you to come closer. All of these pauses amplify anticipation. Women thrive on emotional contrast. The push and pull, the advance and retreat, the silence before the storm, that's what keeps them hooked. Most men fail because they rush through these pauses, afraid of silence or stillness. But the man who embraces stillness creates magnetism. That stillness is Stoic foreplay at its purest. Now let's explore the psychology of touch. When you finally move into physical foreplay, subtlety is everything. The lightest touch can be more powerful than the strongest grab if it's timed right. Think about how her body responds to gradual escalation. A hand brushing her arm, fingers lingering a little longer than necessary, guiding her gently without rush. Each touch builds on the last, creating layers of anticipation. The Stoic man understands this. It's not about force, it's about intention. Every move is deliberate, measured, and purposeful. This turns touch into communication, and communication into connection. But here's where most men fail. They think foreplay is only physical. In reality, the most powerful foreplay is mental stimulation. Whispering something that sparks her imagination, making her laugh in a way that lowers her guard, asking her questions that make her think deep. These things engage her mind, which heightens everything else. Women crave a man who can play with their imagination. That's why novels, stories, and fantasies captivate. They open the mind. If you master this, you master the art of foreplay without even touching. Now, let's bring this full circle with Stoicism. Why does this approach never fail? Because Stoicism teaches us the value of self-mastery. Most men are controlled by impulse. They rush, they grab, they push. But the Stoic man is in control of himself. He doesn't rush, he waits, he doesn't force, he guides, he doesn't get lost in his own desire. He uses it as fuel to build something deep. That level of self-mastery is irresistible to women. They sense it instantly. The calm energy, the quiet confidence, the unshakable presence. That's the kind of man who makes her heart race without lifting a finger. So let's put this into a complete picture. The best foreplay starts with presence. Your undivided attention that makes her feel like the only woman in the world. It deepens with emotional priming, compliments, curiosity, and laughter that spark her heart and mind. It builds with restraint, holding back just enough to let her imagination work in overdrive. It heightens with timing, knowing when to advance, when to pause, when to let silence do the talking. And it completes with leadership, guiding her through an experience where she feels safe, cherished, and alive. Combine all of this, and you've mastered foreplay in a way that never fails, no matter who the woman is. Remember this final truth. Foreplay is not an act. It's an atmosphere. It's not something you do for 5 minutes before intimacy. It's something you embody in your presence, your tone, your touch, your patience. Women remember how you made them feel, and the man who can master that is the man they never forget. So if you truly want to understand the best foreplay for women, the kind that never fails, you must shift your mindset. Stop thinking it's about rushing to the finish line, and start thinking it's about building the journey. Embody stoic patience. Embody presence. Embody restraint. When you master these principles, you'll discover that foreplay is not just about moments, it's about who you are as a man. And when you show up with calm confidence, controlled desire, and genuine presence, you'll never fail. Because every woman longs for exactly that. Now it's your turn. Apply this wisdom, live it, and watch how everything changes.